Hey guys, so don't mind my voice. I'm filming all of this while I'm sick still. But today we're doing the lace up off shoulder top. We're doing the long sleeve version, but the steps for the short sleeve are exactly the same. You'll just have a different size sleeve here. So we have two sleeves, two front pieces. We have a third front piece in a lining fabric. I like to use stretch mesh because it's super thin, super stretchy, and all it is to create a pocket for the padding. So I have padding as well, which is optional. If you don't want padding, you can skip this step altogether, but I do think it makes a difference. And then we have the straps as well. So let's start with the straps actually. So we have one shorter strap here, which is going to be creating the loops on the side of the top where you lace it up. So we're going to fold it in half and sew all the way along 1 centimeter away from the edge. I use my overlocker as standard in all of my videos with all my designs, but if you don't have one, that is completely fine. Just use a stretch stitch with your sewing machine, usually just a zigzag. This is what it will look like. I'm going to turn it the right way around with my loop turner. So this is a loop turner. If you don't have one of these, I would strongly recommend buying one. They're not very expensive. You can use a safety pin if you'd like. It just takes a lot longer. You just put it on the loop turner, hook the end of it, and pull it through. So there is our strap for the loops. So we need 8 4-centimeter long pieces. So I'm going to measure those out. So my piece was way longer than I needed. Yours will be the correct measurements in the sewing pattern. So I have my long strap here. I didn't have enough in the length of my fabric to cut out one piece. So I just cut out 2 and I've sewn them together with a straight stitch. So that's completely fine if you need to do that as well. So we're going to follow the same step and we're going to fold it in half. So all the way along, 1 centimeter away from the fold, and then turn it the right way around. There we go. Strap is done. We'll move on to the front. So we'll take one of our front pieces, place it right side facing down. Actually, first thing is we need to fold it in half because we need to mark the halfway point. Now I'll open it up right side facing down. I'm going to take my lining piece, place it on top. Now I know some of you might ask where I got the fabric from, so this is artwork I purchased from an artist on Etsy and I had printed on the fabric, so I'm going to link that below for you. I'm just going to mark a straight line down the center where we marked between these clips. And now I'm going to do a straight stitch just down here, and this creates 2 separate pockets for your padding. That's all done. I know it's hard to see because I'm using white thread. Now we're going to place it right side facing up. We're going to place the other front piece right side facing down on top. And we're going to clip the top and the bottom. And now we're going to sew these top and bottom seams. There we go. Now we want to do the loops on the sides. So I'm going to take my straps, I like little loops. I'm going to fold them in half and just place a clip. I find them easy to work with like that. Now we have 4 for each side. I'm going to take the first one. We want the folded over side on the inside of the top. I'm going to clip it to this edge here. I'll do the same with the bottom. I have one too many. Now with these last two, we're just going to space them out evenly between these two outer ones here. Do the same for the other side. Now we're going to do a straight stitch along here, 1 centimeter away from the edge, and I'll just show you with my sewing machine. So we have our edge here. We're going to do a straight stitch all the way along. And what I like to do is go back and forth over these loops a little bit because it helps keep them nice and secure. There we go. I'll do the same for the other side. So I finished both sides. You can trim off the excess if you want to make it a bit neater, but this is just going to be the inside of the top, so I don't mind too much. Now we want to put some 6mm elastic just along the top seam here, and the top seam is the one that's straight. The bottom you'll see is a bit of a curve, so that's how you can tell them apart. So we're going to start at one end. Now you don't have to start at the very tip because obviously there's a little loop here and it might get in the way. Just as long as you start as close to the edge as you can. So I have my 6mm braided elastic. If you can't find this exact one, as long as you get something close, it will be fine. We're going to place that on top of the seam allowance. And we're going to do a wide zigzag stitch. And we're going to pull the elastic a little bit as we go along. I would say about 30% of its capacity. So we're not like stretching it to its full length. We're just pulling it a little bit. And this will provide some security as we wear the top. So yeah, you don't need to go all the way to the edge. I've stopped at the end of this loop here. So that's all done. Now we need to take our seam ripper and we need to open about 4 centimeters on the bottom of the top. So I thought I'd come back over to my workbench, but we have this open hole on the bottom of our top and we're just going to turn it the right way around now. Like so, and I'm going to close off this hole here just with a straight stitch. That's all done. Now we place the top right side facing down, and the way we know this is because we have that straight seam on the wrong side. I'm going to fold in the edges, which is just going to help me picture exactly where I need to be putting this strap. So I'm going to take my loop turner, go through the bottom one on the left, then the second one on the right, third one on the left, and then the top one on the right. Take the end of my strap, pull it through. Now do the same but on the opposite. So the bottom on the right, second, third, and then top on the left. Take the other end of the strap, pull it through. Now I like to tie a knot on the end. Just think it looks a little bit better. You can also use like a little bead or a decoration or something on the end if you wanted to. Now I'm just going to pull this excess through, but I'm going to make it nice and even on both sides to look like a lace-up design. There we go. So we have the general idea of what it's going to look like. I like to make it this loose because obviously it's going to make it easier to put on. And then I'm just going to tie the rest in a little bow. Now, obviously, if the straps are too long for you, then just cut them shorter. If they're too short, make them longer. It's all customizable. Now it's time for the sleeves. So we'll take our sleeve, fold it in half, and sew along this long edge here for both of them. That's all done. Now we need to turn them the right way around. And we need to hem the top and bottoms, which I'm going to show you with the sewing machine. So we have our sleeve here at the sewing machine. We're going to fold it in 1.5 centimeters. So it's the same step for both top and bottom. So it doesn't matter where you start. We're going to fold it in about 1.5 centimeters. And we're going to do a small zigzag stitch all the way around. Now, I am a perfectionist, so I'm going to trim this whole edge here. So you need to follow that step for the last 3 seams on the rest of your sleeves. So I finished the sleeves. The last step is to connect the sleeves to the top. This is the right side of the top. The wrong side is the one with the seam down the middle. Now we're going to take our ruler and measure 5 centimeters from the very edge where the loops start. Going to do the same with the other side. Measure 5 centimeters from the loops. And this is the part where the center seam of the sleeve will line up to. I'm going to line that up and clip that in place. And now we need to sew these in place, which I'll show you at the machine. So here's the top, the sleeve where it's connected to the top. Now we need to make approximately a 3 centimeter long straight stitch connecting these two, making sure you go back and forth a few times because this seam needs to sort of hold a lot of tension and we need to make sure it's secure and doesn't fall off. I'll trim off these excess pieces. And then we do the same with the other side and you're pretty much done. So the sleeves are attached now. And the last thing, again, which is optional, but I like to add padding, which is why we have the lining layer. So I'm going to turn the top the wrong way around. And I'm going to cut a very small hole just in the underarm section on the inside, just through one piece of fabric, maybe about 3 centimeters long. Do the same with the other side. And this is where I want to put my padding. So I'm going to take my padding. I'm choosing the flexible one that I have. I'm going to roll it up, place it on the inside of the top, let it pop out into shape. And the other side. Turn it back the right way around. Make sure the padding is just sitting in the right spot. And that's it. You're all finished.